Top-tier internet streamers operate in a state of absolute environmental control. They sit in optimized, custom-built rooms, dictating every variable of their broadcast. They decide who they talk to, what game they play, and exactly how the world sees them. That control shatters the moment you place 50 of these highly specialized broadcasters into a single enclosed cube. To win $1 million, the architect of this experiment, MrBeast, stripped away their digital safety nets and locked them in a physical space where they have zero authority over what happens next. We are talking about the biggest creators on the planet. Personalities like XQC represent some of the most famous and notoriously volatile figures in internet culture, all crammed shoulder to shoulder with equally massive egos. This creates a unique psychological vacuum. Mastering a digital audience while sitting alone in a comfortable chair requires an incredibly specific skill set. But navigating a physical, highly unpredictable battle royale surrounded by 49 other stressed competitors requires something else entirely. To survive this gauntlet and walk away with the prize money, these creators face a test that attacks every facet of their raw humanity. It strips away the metrics and the subscriber counts to ask a much more interesting question. Which specific human trait actually ensures survival when the internet is turned off? The experiment immediately begins by testing their interpersonal restraint. In the opening paintball round, all 50 players are armed and told to shoot the one streamer they dislike the most. This diagram shows how basic game theory takes over the room. A single stray shot from a player accidentally hitting someone else instantly overrides any logical alliances. It creates an exponential snowball effect of blind, immediate retaliation. When a player like XQC loses his cool, he paints a massive target on his own back, giving the room a unified reason to turn their fire toward him. You cannot survive this environment if you cannot navigate volatile interpersonal politics. The players who fail to control their emotional responses are the first ones purged from the cube. Those who survive face a completely different psychological test. 4 volunteers place their hands on a pristine Lamborghini. The rule is simple. The person to remove their hand closest to the 10-minute mark wins the car. Everyone else is eliminated. Almost immediately, the other competitors start screaming numbers, chanting, and trying to break the volunteers' focus. Maintaining a perfectly accurate internal clock while trapped in a confined space with dozens of bored people actively sabotaging you is practically impossible. But the smartest players don't rely on their internal clocks at all. Instead of playing the game as intended, they look for ways to hack the rules of the system itself through metagaming. The French streamer Rebu coordinates with an ally outside the circle, whose vlog camera timecode tracks the exact seconds ticking by. By relying entirely on this external communication, Rebu perfectly times lifting his hand, winning the challenge by a microscopic margin of just 5 frames. This specific challenge does not actually reward the most patient or focused player. It rewards the competitor most willing to exploit loopholes and bypass the intended psychological stress entirely. Next, the group is forced to divide themselves based on their perceived strengths. They have to choose between competing in a physical sports challenge or a digital video game. On the physical side, the pressure causes a catastrophic unforced error. Ludwig gets so caught up in the social excitement of seeing the goalie that he instinctively steps out of bounds to greet him. He forgets the one absolute rule of the entire video: do not leave the cube, and eliminates himself instantly. Meanwhile, Wendy realizes she cannot physically beat the goalie. Instead of trying to outkick this massive athletic threat, she quietly kicks the ball into the net, while IShowSpeed is still walking back to his position, neutralizing his physical advantage through clever rule bending. Across the room, the most confident gamers retreat to the absolute familiarity of a battle royale. They strap into their PCs, certain that their specialized skills will guarantee their safety in this digital arena. But the uncontrollable chaos of a 50-person free-for-all proves too volatile. Tifil, a legendary player, is eliminated in his own domain. Relying on what you do best is a trap. The players who retreated to their comfort zones were eliminated, proving that specialized mastery is actually a fatal vulnerability in an unpredictable ecosystem. The shrinking teams are pushed to their absolute mental limits in the final memory podium challenge. Grouped into squares, triangles, and stars, they have just 10 seconds to memorize the random locations of specific shapes hidden on the floor beneath them. This chart visualizes how cognitive load actually functions under extreme duress. As physical exhaustion and the weight of $1 million prize accumulate, short-term memory capacity severely degrades. Players suddenly experience profound spatial disorientation. Communication links sever and collapse, leading entire teams to wipe out. Looking back at the wreckage of the cube, the traits that made these creators famous offered almost no protection. Raw gaming skill, physical athleticism, and massive internet popularity were all systematically rendered useless by the design of the gauntlet. MrBeast's experiment provides a brutal conclusion. When you remove the digital safety nets and the carefully controlled environments, the ultimate human survival trait is pure adaptability. The players who make it to the end are the ones who can actively hack shifting rules, swallow their own egos, and remain perfectly lucid in a room specifically designed to break them.